Hi guys, and welcome to our third official episode of Jesus Girl Entertainment podcast. On tonight, our topic is, what we're going to be discussing is self-care selfish? Is self-care selfish? Is taking care of myself selfish? And when I say that, I ask that question in a negative sense. Is it negative for me to be considerate of the things that I personally need, or the things that I personally need to work on to develop into the person that I'm supposed to essentially become? This week I was having a conversation with a person that's fairly close to me, and one of their things that was troubling their heart is that they may have been giving more of themselves to others than they were giving to themselves. So it caused me to pose the question, when is it necessary for me to give to others versus actually step back from giving to others and actually take some time to take care of me? And I've drawn the conclusion, and this is not just something I came up with in this past week, but something I've came up with just in the process of me becoming and rebuilding and reconstructing and renewing myself, is that whenever you feel yourself drowning, whenever you feel yourself and whenever you're not happy with your current state, whenever you're not satisfied with where you are mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, it's time to pull back. It's time to pull back, guys, because you can't pour from an empty cup. And not only that, you don't want to pour from a poisonous cup. You don't want to pour from a toxic place. And so with doing that, what is self-care? What exactly is self-care? Is self-care me going out and going on a splurge and spending a lot of money that I can't afford to spend? Is it me going to get my nails done, get my hair done, get my makeup done, going out and taking care of myself and going out to eat? And I will say occasionally, not the splurging part. We always want to be mindful of our finances, because then self-care will become self-doubt. Not self-doubt, but it'll become guilt, because now you spent money that you didn't have and you feel bad. So we don't want to do that. We want to be wise in all things. But if it's a couple of dollars to get my nails painted, or my feet done, or to get my hair done, or to just go out and sit down and eat by myself. For me, because I'm a mother of four, I am in ministry, I am wearing a lot of hats currently. When I had last year, I found myself just kind of overly stressed. It was because I had not stepped back and I didn't do an assessment of all that I was doing for others and not what I was doing for myself. With that was taking care of my weight and taking care of my skin and taking care of my hair and my health. And many people who have followed me on social media for some time know that for a long period of time I was actually not eating meat. And people that are close to me know that I still don't eat meat. There were a series of times where I was kind of jumping in between not eating meat and eating meat. But what I've discovered in my journey of self-care is that my body does not respond well to it. My mom actually discovered that she had a chicken and a fish a beef and pork intolerance. And so when she discovered that, she cut it out years ago, has not eaten it. She only eats chicken and fish. And so with me doing my self-discovery, I found that when I'm not eating meat, I feel happier. I feel healthier. I feel more energetic. This is me. That's not you. I'm not inflicting that on you. I'm not saying go throw all the meat out in your house out, but I'm saying when you actually do self-care, these are some things that are manifested from it. It's not me. When you do self-care, the healthy and the godly way, there's good fruit that is produced from that. So we talk about fruit a lot, and we talk about fruit a lot in life. So if you see a person that's always angry, or you see a person that's always dibbling and dabbling in sin, there's always a deeper root to the issue. It's not the fruit, it's actually the root that we need to deal with. And so because this is Soulful Sundays, we talk about the things that are ailing our souls, the things that we don't really talk about, the things that we don't deal with. And so traumatic experiences for me is what caused me to go into a place of not thinking that I was doing self-care, which was spending a lot of money that I didn't have to overcompensate for the voids that I was filling in my soul. I thought that was self-care, but it really wasn't. So when I actually went into self-care, and this will be revealed very soon, It wasn't buying a lot of bundles of Brazilian hair and going to the braid shop to get my hair done. It was shaving all of my hair off. And that's drastic. That's drastic. But I want you to go here with me. It was becoming naked before God. It was becoming stripped completely of everything that I thought was valuable. Going through homelessness and going in and out of poverty, impoverished situations, some inhumane situations actually, losing everything. It caused me, it was balancing my value system. I thought it was a terrible thing at the time, but now I realize it was balancing my value system, because at that time, I thought that I needed 100 pair of heels. I thought that I needed name brand everything. I thought that I needed tons of this and tons of that in order for me to feel good about myself. But then what happens when you don't have all of those things? Now you're going to go into depression? Now you're going to fall apart because you don't have those things? Because things don't define you. And when you go into self-care, you realize that this never defined me. But if I build up my value in who I am and who it is that God has created me to be, then I'll define the thing. And so that birthed my clothing brand. Because when you're, and this is really good for creatives, when you don't have money, you have to be creative, okay? So that's why a lot of things have come into existence, inventions have come into existence that we have come to know and love, is because there was a lack in an area and somebody found the time to actually sit down and figure out, how can I fix this, or how can I solve this problem? When you effectively do self-care, you solve problems in yourself that you think it's just for yourself, but eventually it becomes a blessing to others. It becomes something that other people can benefit from. So when do I step away from taking care of myself and I then take care of others? As a mother, that's the only position that I have that I can't quit. So I have had jobs before that I felt like, this is too much pressure. I can't deal with this. I'm out, not just to quit suddenly. When I was young, I would just quit suddenly, but maybe give them a 2-week notice, like, this is a bad fit. This isn't going to work for you, and it's not going to work for me. I don't feel like this is going to be good, so I can leave this. But as a mother, I can never quit that job. So my children are some of the only people on earth that have seen me in every season, bad, good, and different. They've seen me in every single season. And when am I healthy enough to step away from my self-care to give to them? Well, you don't have a choice. When you're a parent, you have to give to them at all times. But I think that when you're really, God, help me to find the words. Not when you fully arrive, because we're every day we're arriving. But let's just say, okay, I pour me a cup of lemonade, a full cup, 16 ounces of lemonade. If I drink maybe half the cup, 8 ounces, and I'm down to 8, then I can give the remainder to those who are around me. Or I could drink it all, and then those that are around me get nothing. Or I can give it all away, and then I get nothing. So finding the balance there, I've never witnessed this myself, but I've been told that when you're in an airplane, they tell you to put on your mask first, and then you put on the mask of the people that are around you. So the lemonade is not an actual juice, because, of course, as a mother, you're going to give it to your kids. If they're thirsty, you're going to let them drink everything. You're going to let them eat everything. But let's speak of that in a sense of finances. As a parent, you never want to give your children too much at one time. And then you don't want to give them too little. You don't want to leave them in lack. So back to the self-care thing, because y'all know I have to stay on. I'm trying to stay on task, stay on track here. With my 16 ounces of lemonade, once I drink my healing, once I drink my deliverance, once I drink my recovery, then I have to give to other people. If I have not healed, I can't heal. If I have not been delivered, I can't deliver. If I have not received love, I cannot give love. If I have not forgiven, then I can't even expect for my children to forgive me. And I have a daughter. I have 2 daughters. I have 2 sons. And my oldest 2, they're growing up and they're becoming little people. They've always been little people. But I mean, as far as coming into who they are as people. And that was one of the main things that pushed me into wanting to do self-care, because I realized I can't allow my traumatic experiences, I can't allow my troubled past to stop them from being awesome. I can't allow what happened to me. I can't keep on, I'm in this pity party of my parents did this and my parents did that, but you're failing to realize that you're a parent. And what you're giving them is what they're going to take out into the world. And so it made me really realize that I can't be toxic, because now I'm creating a repeated cycle, and it has to end with me. So I'm not going to stay on here long. You guys know I like to get the message out and then leave it alone. Self-care is not selfish. It's essential. Self-care is essential within reason. So if I'm really pursuing self-care, it's not me going out and spending a ton of money to overcompensate for the voids that I feel in my soul, but it's me dealing with the voids in my soul. That's self-care. That's being wounded. Just imagine an open wound in battle from a military person. Instead of me taking that wound and just walking, continuing life, everyday life, pursuing the things that I do on a daily basis and not giving it any attention so that it becomes infected. And now I'm bleeding out on people that are in close proximity to me because I didn't pay it any attention. Self-care is caring about the areas in your life that need attention. And many of us have been in the red for a while, especially with everything that happened with last year. For some people, last year was their first real traumatic experience. So I'm not really talking to them. But many people that grew up and you had trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma. It's like you had trauma in the home, left that trauma in relationships, left that trauma at work, left that trauma at school. You just trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma. And then because you've had so much trauma, you've grown numb to what it is that you've gone through. And instead of you really seeking God to heal you in those areas, you just kind of ignore them. And it doesn't go away. I had to catch myself because I was developing the habit of when I'm feeling good, when I'm happy, then I'm on my diet, or I'm fasting, or I'm taking care of myself. I'm going to the gym. But then when something happens that disappoints me, then I automatically just throw everything out the window and I'm back into binge eating, and I'm back into sleeping in, and I'm back into not really caring about what the outcome of my life is going to be. And then I had to realize, Shaniqua, you're going to have to deal with you. You're disappointed, you're discouraged, you're angry, and you're upset. And the person that disappointed you is somewhere dancing, eating barbecue. They didn't go somewhere and they dancing, they didn't have a party while you're sitting having a pity party. So in order to choose which party you're going to have to commit to self-care regularly. And it can be just maybe 10 minutes stepping away 10 minutes in the morning before everybody wakes up, especially mothers. It's good for you to wake up for the kids wake up. I know it don't always work that way, but it's better for me to wake up before my children wake up, because I can set the tone of the house. And really finding that quiet place, a prayer, and then putting on some positive affirmations if you need to. Speaking your positive affirmations to prepare yourself for the day, because now I'm filling up my cup. Now I'm filling up my cup with light and positivity. So when I see my daughter, I can call her beautiful. And when I see my son, I can call him a young king. And I can speak life and positivity to them, because I've already filled my cup with these things. So I can pour it out and I can give it out. So self-care is not selfish. Self-care is essential. But it's not in the sense of money. Money, it answereth all things. And money is a defense. So we need money. But we don't want to abuse the money and the resources that God gives us. We really want to, and we don't want to cover up the areas that need healing. We want to deal with them. We want to take them, face them head on, and realize, like I said on the first podcast, it's a process. When you embrace self-care, it's not like I'm going to go from 200 pounds to 120 overnight. It's me continually developing a habit of consistency, so that I can see the goals that I want, but giving myself pats on the back as I embrace the process, self-care, so that when others come and they give me the compliments as well, it's only a reflection of what I've already fed myself. So now I'm not sinking to rise no more when I don't get it from other people, because I've taken that time in self-care to give it to myself. I've taken that time in self-care to allow God to pour it into me so that I can be able to give it to other people. So that'll be all for our self-care Sunday on tonight. If you guys were blessed by this message, please feel free to inbox me and let me know on Instagram, or you can send me a message here. And even if there are some other topics that you would like to see addressed, we can definitely talk about those things. If you have questions in regards to the message, please do message me so we continue on this process. I'm excited for your future. I'm glad that you've decided to be a part of the Jesus Girl Entertainment podcast family. We actually have some other things that are going to be releasing underneath the Jesus Girl branch, so please stay tuned for that. Keep us in prayer, myself and all those that support me as we go forth and do what it is that God has commissioned and commanded us to do. And so I want you to know, just as I was sharing with my loved one, if you feel like you're giving out too much to others and you're not really it's to the point that you're causing yourself to be fully depleted, it's time to maybe step back a little bit. And a sign of a good leader is when you're able to delegate. I just want to leave that there. So if you haven't built up people around you to the point where they can kind of take over, if you step away, then that's something to probably try to work on in these times. Because what happens when you get called overseas? Or what happens when you can't be there? You have to have somebody to be there in your place. So, yeah, self-care is not selfish. It's essential. But it's not materialistic. It's dealing with your soul and those areas in your soul that need healing. So let's commit to making sure that we're doing self-care the proper way so that we can be able to be more of a fruit bearer, and we can be more of a benefit to those that are in close proximity to us. Because I can't help you if I can't help me. If you need to borrow $10 and I only got $2, I can give you my $2, but then how am I going to supply for myself for the rest of the week or the month or however long I have to wait to get what it is that I need? So that's all we have for this Soul Care Sunday. God bless you. God keep you. Consider those things for self-care. You know those areas in your life that need immediate attention. There are some areas that, can be prolonged, but there's some areas in your life that need immediate attention. Paying attention to those things, identifying your areas of weakness, the areas that need to be brought up. I had to do a real serious self-evaluation. My dad always said, false confidence, don't operate in false confidence. Yes, have confidence, but not false confidence. And that's real, which means you're saying that something is good or something is excellent when it's not. And you know that it can be better. And you know that it needs improvement. And that's a harsh reality, but, it's real. You need some people around you that can, be not brutally honest, but honest in love and willing to help you to get to the place that you desire to be. So if there's an area in life that you're not pleased with, that this is an area that I'm just not satisfied in, that's your first area of self-care. That's your first brick that needs to be attended to. And to keep working on it. Don't just give up like, oh, this just is what it is. Because how can you expect somebody else to be happy with what you're not happy with? Keep working on it until you get to the place where you desire to be. And then you'll be more of a benefit not only to your family, to your loved ones, to your community, to your workplace, and to everybody else that comes in contact with you. God bless you and God keep you.